Hi there, Scorpios, and welcome to your soulmate reading. So, I'm going to be doing a past, present, future reading for um, yourself and for your soulmate, okay? So, the past is really a reflection that we look at when we want to ask ourselves, like, what was all that about? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does all that mean, right? Like, what just happened there? Um, So, definitely important to clarify that for sure. Um, and I feel like for you, it really is like this tower energy, okay? I feel like you had a plan in place, and I feel like it all went south really fast. And I feel like that had a lot to do with certain personalities that were clashing way too hard. You can't always like fight like everything, you know, like you can't always, sometimes you do need to like go with the flow of certain energies and see what happens. And what happened is this tower energy. Okay, the universe basically was like, from going with this energy, from going with this flow of energy, this is what happens. Like, this is what happened. Okay? Catastrophe, lightning strikes. So, um, yeah. So, let's take a closer look here at this tower energy because I feel like it's like there's more than meets the eye here. Even though the tower is pretty, like, okay, there's a lot going on here. I think that, you know, I don't know. I feel like you probably try to sort of accommodate a lot of personalities and a lot of people's characteristics for your, like, I don't know, for the season, for the holiday season, you know? So, um, the tower signifies sudden profound change, often experienced as upheaval or chaos. It represents unexpected revelations and the necessity of disaster to bring awakening. This card emphasizes the power of release and sudden insight. Reverse, the tower indicates fear of change and personal transformation. It suggests the potential to avert disaster, but warns of suffering and collapse. This card reflects a period of restlessness and stormy times, highlighting the need for resilience. So, if you didn't really like get that already, like from looking at what happened, that's definitely what's kind of, I feel like, sort of triggering you into this like present energy. Okay. Um. So let's take a look here at this present energy. Yeah. I feel like people were testing. Oh, wow, this just flew out. Four at once. Yeah. People were testing you, okay? Now, presently, you have like the prince and the princess. She's riding on a horse in the, a fairy tale forest there. Um, there's four wands. There's some crystal bubbles. Like something about, a celebration here, a charming new adventure, because I feel like what was happening was not working out. So obviously, it was leading to tower moments here, or the tower moment. Could have been. It could be multiple tower energies, honestly. Four of Wands is all about, a time of joy, celebration, and harmony. It signifies milestones like marriage or the establishment of a home, embodying community spirit and a sense of belonging, marking a festive homecoming. When reversed, the Four of Wands suggests a more personal inward celebration. It hints at potential conflicts or a lack of support from those around, challenging one to find inner harmony amidst transitions or home conflicts. Okay, so how that sort of relates to the tower is like the tower could have been like the home that you visited, the place that you went to that was like so chaotic and so disorganized. Like, it might appear to be organized on the inside, like, everything is in their place, there's like no messes anywhere, everything's all clean and tidy up, but like the energy within is so chaotic, it's like you can feel the tension, and you have stepped away from that, and you're now trying to regain that like sense of peace and joy and happiness in your own home, in your own life, within yourself. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people's opinions are gonna like try to sort of like I don't know. I don't know I feel like there's some, moving into the future of your energy here, reading here, okay? I think we're going to get a closer eye or look at that. Sort of like everything is in their place, right, for certain people, but like not up here. You know what I'm saying? Like not in their mind, really. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah, look at this death card. Yeah. Future, rebirth, transformation. Okay, so you are obviously going through this, or you're going to go through this, or you're feeling it coming through here, Scorpio. Okay, and it's a beautiful energy because it really is like your energy. You're embodying your own essence, your own core. You're testing your limits here. There are no restrictions to how you can feel joy and happiness in your own way. That's developing. What I'm sensing is that what happened is that, the storm came, it crashed upon the shores, it tore down the tower, it, you kind of said your piece in the moment there that you had, and now you're moving into this time of joyous celebration because you did have your tower moment, okay? And it's not a good sort of like feeling, especially when it comes with like, lightning and thunder and emotional waves crashing upon the shores, but it is something that is real and raw and authentic, and you walked into it, okay? You walked into the chaos and you said, so what? You know what? Like, there's people who have like a lot of chaos in their minds, right? And they just don't know how to weather that storm. And here you come, very calm, very cool, collected, and it stirs them up. It shakes the foundation of what they have built their own tower upon, like their ego, okay? And it's really sad, honestly, really sad. But they don't understand that you already have done the shadow work. You've already done the inner work. So you can like keep working on your projects, keep working on your creative endeavors, even if it doesn't align or match up with everybody else, it still aligns and matches up with what you're doing. And there are going to be people who are 10, 15, 22 years ahead of you, even maybe 5 years ahead of you, or 1 year ahead of you, maybe 1 week ahead of you. Maybe they, started off with a lot more abundance, because I'm not seeing like a lot of pentacles here, but that's because you're not in a pentacles abundance energy right now. You're in this death transformational energy, Scorpio. That is your energy. So everyone else's energy can go take a hike, like you obviously need to like reassure yourself that what you're doing right now for yourself is for your higher good and your higher purpose, regardless of what everybody else thinks, because everyone else is going to have their own opinion. The Four of Wands, you think celebration, victory, joyous occasion, you think, okay, let's all get together and have fun. But who is this all together, right? Who are these people that are... All right, so for instance, I'll give you the perfect example of like sort of my version of like death transformation, okay? So I started off this like Christmas series Christmas. And then I went through quite an interesting holiday adventure through many obstacles and challenges. Um, and some fun adventures for sure, but a lot of challenges as well. Okay, so that sort of derailed my project of having these Christmas themed videos done. But I'm still recording them like a week before my birthday. So, that's a perfect example of what like a death transformation feels like. You start something that's like really meaningful to you, and all these other, the universe sends you a whole swarm of obstacles and challenges. That trajectory of being on one path leads you to another and another and another until you find your way back again. And that's the death transformation. Okay. Not in such a, like, I wouldn't say it's like, actually, I would say it's pretty major. I'm not going to get into the details, but I will say the universe definitely threw a lot at me. Especially when it comes to certain personalities with a lot of chaos in their minds that haven't done the spiritual work, haven't done the shadow work. They don't know which way is up and which way is down. But yeah. All right. So that is your just baseline for you for that. Okay. Scorpio. And I'll take a look here. Deeper meaning of the death card. Okay. Let's see here. So death symbolizes significant endings and beginnings, marking profound change and transformation. It represents the conclusion of one cycle and the start of another, embodying metamorphosis and transition in life's journey. Reverse, death indicates a resistance to change and fear of the new. It suggests holding on to the past, leading to stagnation and decay. This card underscores the importance of embracing personal transformation for progress. Okay? And that is really what you're doing, Scorpio. Okay? So don't think you're not doing that, because you definitely are doing that. And I think you're also observing and seeing where others are like lacking in that mindset and not doing that. And that's their own spiritual journey that they need to discover for themselves and find the solutions and answers for themselves. Okay. So now for your soulmate energy, because you do have this like prince and princess present energy, 4 of Wands here. So we have the Ace of Swords, okay, for your soulmate's past. Okay. This is like basically like what happens after the metamorphosis and transformation. So I feel like your soulmate is someone who's coming into your life saying like, when you go through the death, the transformation, when you go through the Tower energy, there's your Ace of Swords, right? There's your soulmate there wanting to be with you, right? And it's also a card of like speaking your truth and being honest about how you're feeling. And, I don't like it when people are saying, like, I don't like when you're expressing how you're like not feeling great and someone immediately like labels that as negative. It's like, we have to stop doing that, because it's like we're human beings. We have good days, we have bad days. So we don't need to like, say, okay, well, you're not talking about all these positive things, so I have no interest in like a connection with you. That's super shallow and that's superficial. Okay. So your past, this Ace of Swords. Okay. Wow, let's see here. Okay, so yeah, so like your Ace of Swords. This heralds a period of significant mental clarity. See, other people are not, they have this very lack mindset. They don't have any mental clarity at all. And a breakthrough. Again, that's really like that's really like synchronizing really well with like the tower energy there. Okay. It signifies emergence of new ideas, symbolizes success and a sharp mind ready to tackle conflicts or even the need for surgical precision in one's life. Now, when reversed, it suggests confusion and potential chaos. It signals the need for inner clarity, urging a reevaluation of current ideas and cautioning against clouded judgment and the brutality of thought. Okay. And I was watching the like end of Stranger Things, which I found myself so emotionally like removed from that show, just because it was like it took forever for like the seasons to come out, the like final season. But and also I don't relate anything to high schoolers at all. But I do like the adventure and sci-fi elements, and like I do think there are some characters that have like some depth to them, while others are a little bit more like cheesy and corny. But you know, like it's interesting because there's good chaos and there's bad chaos, I think is what the character Dusty was saying in his speech at his graduation. And I do think there is good chaos and there is bad chaos. But I also think that there's like that ability to see that, and there's ability where people don't see that, right? And I feel like Scorpio, you're like always in a room full of people who just don't see it that way. They always are like constantly consumed by their own chaotic energy, that they don't see all of the energy collectively together and how it actually looks. I don't know if that makes sense. Probably doesn't make any sense, but I don't care. I'm saying it anyway. So let's take a look at your person's present energy, and we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so we have the woman sitting in a tree with her pentacle, playing her music. Okay, so I feel like this is a very good representation of like some more calmer energy coming into play here for you and your soulmate connection. And the abundance of the pentacles. Okay, so it's definitely can signify like your rewards, your pentacles here. The Page of Pentacles symbolizes the beginning of a journey towards financial growth and skill enhancement. It represents the emergence of new opportunities fueled by ambition, a strong desire for success, and the diligence to manifest one's goals. And that's really a great start presently to a connection, is when you're meeting each other for the first time, or you've known each other for a while, either or, but you're going through something here that's very significant to like this start of getting out of that chaotic energy that was bad, and that was like, I was going to say negative, but what I mean is like destructive, okay? Because you can feel a certain type of way, and that's like self-preservation, that's self-protection, that's establishing boundaries and self-respect for yourself. And I feel like the more you do that, the more you don't care about how other people feel about you, and the more you focus on your own journey and your own abundance and your own like manifestations of like you, or wish fulfillments, that sort of thing. So when reversed, this card points to a struggle with commitment and the presence of counterproductive traits like greediness and laziness. It suggests a need to overcome procrastination and to learn valuable lessons from past failures. And I feel like you like got to see that, and you got to witness that, but through your soulmate's eyes, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like your soulmate had an encounter with someone that this person's like not their lover, this person is not their girlfriend, like the same thing, girlfriend, but if that's a bit more like term that people use, this person is no romantic connection to them, to your soulmate whatsoever, no romantic connection to you either whatsoever, but they still were an energy that has failed to recognize their own counterproductive traits like greediness and laziness. And I don't mean in the sense where like they might, they don't go to work or whatever. Like, I'm not talking about like that, like one-dimensional shit. I'm talking like deep inner five-dimensional spiritual, like death and transformation, rebirth. They don't think that way. They don't theorize that way. They don't rationalize that way. They're stuck in a constant cycle of like blame shifting, and that's a greedy behavior, and it's laziness too, because it's like you're trying to hold on to all the warm fuzzy memories that you're not even willing to share with anybody else, and you're not even willing to talk about or discuss, like, and this isn't even have anything to do with romance. This has to do with like their own, I guess it's their own romantic journey that has nothing to do with you and your soulmate. But if they wanted to share their like feelings of like what they've gone through and how they've seen the world, they're not a higher consciousness yet. So it's like they're not on that level of deeper, higher awareness and consciousness. So they project things and they say things and they do things that are very destructive and very harmful, and your soulmate got to see this and witness this, and they told you about this, and you're just like, but it was something that they were projecting onto you, but you weren't even there yourself to defend yourself. This was something they were telling your soulmate. So basically, basically telling your soulmate that they are like lazy when it comes to people's feelings and emotions, and they don't consider other people, they only consider themselves, and greedy when it comes to like not sharing in like in a very important similarity that they share with you. I feel like they have a similarity with you, but they're overpowered by their like need to like always have like an upper hand, or always have like a better, like, it's very like shower superficial energy that they carry around with them, and you can see it and it's there, but they would rather use that as a shield than to be real with you, and they would rather hurt you and harm you via messages to your soulmate than actually, you know, be truthful and honest about like finding out more about who you are as a person, or sharing more about them. But see, they are sharing about them. They are sharing about who they are. They are a shallow person. They are a greedy person. They are a lazy person. Okay, not in the sense where like, they might not like, they like might wash their clothes, right? Or they might like eat food, like cook a meal or whatever, right? They might clean up after themselves. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like deep inner spiritual work that they're just very lazy about and they just don't want to do. And you, Scorpio, are a very deep spiritual, emotional being and a soulful person. You're very empathetic. So when you see this like shallow, superficial energy come up, you're very like shocked by it at first, because you're like, what? How did, so and so, who you probably thought of as like a emotional, maybe in some dimension were empathetic, but like couldn't really touch that fully and engage with that fully, but like you saw a little bit of it in them, maybe, the reason why that person that you knew had like this potential to like, care a great deal about people and show it and express it, like, right, I feel like they they are aligned with this other person that's very shallow. So it's like, how do you how do you get there, right? How does that get to that, right? So it's an interesting dynamic for sure. But anyways, moving into your soulmate's future, we have the 9 of Cups. Okay, so we have a woman sitting by the shore making a wish. Okay, lots of cups, lots of good positive energy filling those cups. So the 9 of Cups heralds a period of achieving heartfelt desires, is signifying deep satisfaction, emotional fulfillment, and the importance of savoring life's luxuries with gratitude, embodying a true sense of contentment and well-being. Okay, so when you go through your death and your transformation, your soulmate is like filled with this gratitude and this true sense of contentment and well-being with you because they love this about you. All right. So, I think you and your soulmate are on the same page. I just think that like you can't. There's no really need for you both to like entertain, or what I mean by entertain is like discuss in further detail or bring up in conversation or make it a priority to like discuss like what these energies with their chaotic minds are like doing or up to. I feel like you've already sort of removed yourself from that quite a bit, Scorpio, and I think that that's a really good start to your transformation because there's no need to be around chaotic people that are just bad chaos. There's just no need for it. There's no reason for it. Like emotionally withdrawing from that because it's not healthy. And we have here in reversal, it suggests a void in inner happiness. Yeah, these people have a void in themselves for sure, in their hearts. They're overshowered by materialism or indulgence. Yeah, it points to dissatisfaction and the need to seek joy beyond possessions, urging a reevaluation of what truly constitutes personal fulfillment. And that's the thing. Is like they're very material based human beings, and that's why you don't find that you can really relate to them as much as you could relate to someone else who isn't like that. Someone who wants to be filled with emotional happiness and emotional abundance. And that's why you are getting this 9 of Cups, and that's why you are seeing just the Page of Pentacles, not because it's like you don't deserve material things, you don't deserve wealth and financial success. I'm sure that's coming later. I'm sure, maybe you don't need it because you already have found your own satisfaction within yourself. You filled I don't even think there was ever a void in you to begin with, Scorpio. I think you were just one of those people that, got very lucky and you're born a very passionate, loving person. But I also feel that you're a very evolved person, so you can understand that. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't mean understand as in like sympathize, because no, you don't need to sympathize with people who are shallow and superficial, but you definitely know how to understand them so you can avoid them, because it's not healthy for you to be around people like that. Okay, it's self-preservation. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to draw a card here for you that just ties into all this. Some metaphorical love oracle cards. There we go. It's been a while since I did like a reading, and honestly, I'm glad I'm doing like finishing up the holiday readings, because they'll be here next year and the year after that and the year after that, and who knows, maybe this will apply to someone 10, 20 years from now. I don't know. But anyways, let's see. Your love is my safe place. See that? Your love is my safe place. And I can't carry this love alone. Yeah. And we have, I choose us over and over again. See, there you go. That's the confirmation I feel you needed, Scorpio. You're doing all the right things. You're doing your spiritual work. You're doing your shadow work. You've come through a lot here. The Tower is a huge, major, like, crazy time. Okay, so you made it through, and now you're working on that victory and that celebration of making it through, and that's going to bring you into your death transformation phase, and that's going to bring about a whole new, like, wave of possibilities and, you know, endless opportunities. And it's because you're choosing love and yourself and working on your connection with your soulmate and making that a priority. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love and light always, Scorpios. Take care now. Bye.